No. Not only that, review came in the theater. I began to gradually advance to the streets. People of the majority to stroll the ginza of the night. I turned into expressions of the same laugh. Also in the train, even in the subway, it was buried by men and women of the same facial expression. Speaking exaggerated, Tokyo throughout it was laughing and smiling at the same celluloid of the face. When the kind of epidemic reaches a certain extent, the cause of the adverse effects on one head just unavoidable. Lazy thing, hidden in your face, because began a variety of mischief. Although things are else likely, that further trouble this contact surfaces, to serve as an openly under cover of the villain who it has been found. Came in of shoplifting, masked thief aim, even the name Heitua came in robbery, began to appear on the social aspects of the newspaper. In the previous section, Ranpo Edogawa together with a strange man in the car at all. Shinji that dodged to shake hands also. Precisely because was the time of such masks epidemic. It was to have occurred. Because mon impatient something, crap your face. I come out guy to come up with that kind of mischief. You, useless or not careful definitely. If you were that person is a villain. Because I do not palm the corner in about shaking hands. From now on, while you ride in a car from sure it's me. Quote, Kamiya that it is a by chance of the beast who owned to act. Because those holding a feigned doubt, implicitly, gave attention as tedious. Ranpo also, and got quite frightened, but he then was on a sufficiently careful. Never human beings monster and anti-leopard regardless even think that will be present in this world. The cleverest partner of deception means since had extremely. That of a certain night. Had boarded the car a fake even with once again. Ranpo, before tonight to go to the house, I tried to a little side trip. Ranpo believed that Kamiya, a man of the mask in a dark car. He said in a such as pulling the wind voice. Yes, but where are you stop by? Yes, I'm soon close. I have a little surprise you. Of course, I'ma be surprised to your Eshiku. So, what'll we do? I suggestive. Yeah, suggestive of. Foo, you, amazed. Ranpo was noticed barely a man's voice is different from the usual. Oh, you, cold of minus. Voice is strange. Yes, I'm the spring wind. Cheerful as the do so much good, had pulling the wind. You, but I guess that, Kamiya-san. Lol, I'm saying what that strange is not as decided, or someone, whether there is a person who comes to be greeted by another. It's your face, taking Kudasara not be. Feeling that still bad through a laughing grin. Yes, I paddle. I also take this. But, the Pearl River a little way. I have a thing to show to you. You know, this. Raised to you. While the man said, taking out a small sack from his pocket. He began pointing in front of Ranpo opened the snap in the lid. Even in dim beams electric lights, glowing in the glittering and colorful, but finger ring of diamond of about 1 knot. Well, beautiful. This give me to me. Since the review girl was not accustomed to luxury, will tens of thousands of yen to the expensive gifts. Had been completely excitement. Yes, I'm in my god. That is the guy the first engagement ring. To me received by. Yes. We have TAGE received. Thank you to the welled up and coming joy. And I also forget the obsession of mask that. The Teiyu amaze me. This? Quote. No. This is that is a prelude. Is really to set up to you. Yet I set aside until after you I'm there. Cherish a part. In between of such a conversation. Car obsession. Of Hamacho not far from the theater. He had arrived to be deemed to be replaced spirit of Mangame of the house. In what looked like a thing that had to say in advance. Without even a Yoshimi the man of the remains of the mask. Made of the guide is a Kazashiki of the recess 6 mat and Yojohan. A cross-stirring around table of pretentious lacquerware. And attached to the seat. Eventually carried the tea, sweets and liquor. But, The man, we still do not even try to take the mask. I would be here waiting. All funny. Is something I like this clothes would be strange. Haircut in reviews, girl and waiting of Kazashiki of couture, was really strange assortment. Yes. I say, dad, if such a thing. Come on. Put out a little while ago of a finger ring. Because I'll fit. Yeah, Ranko to leave is to be said, but held out the sack of the finger ring, and suddenly Kokoro Zui. Oh, I funny in the parlor, I rash Aru wearing still your face. Would you like TAGE taking? Well, good, served the hand, trying to towards the finger ring ahead. Man of dark hairy hand. Extend the new. Grasp the left hand of Ranko. Tried to hameo a finger ring. Looking at one and the eye in the hand. She is a scary. Became involuntarily kneeling position. Do not go. Please let go. Early. You not a who is. Kamiya-san. Early. Taking its tail surface. Please show me the face. Lol lol. Tat, not so much urge. I'll show you now. You know. Tell you of the man who engaged with you. That is the servant. In the one hand. While holding a jerk the hand of Ranko, you fitted the other finger ring. With one hand. Was Mushirito, this review came in. Had appeared from under it. But was a first meeting to Ranko. Unmistakable human, leopard. It was a lean black face of Onda. Lol lol. Emmon was a hard lot. You can order a look-alike of clothes and Kamiya-kun. Or the hair on the all back. Is or make a voice. But, since you gave me in response to the engagement ring, I was finally relieved. No way are you. I might say the attempt to return the finger ring. Ranko did not yet know the horror of Onda. However, I just felt that somehow nasty man. I had made a mistake in identity. And then return it, then you again return. She put on a table by far the finger ring was likely to return, suddenly stood up. Dame, it's with a lock on the sliding doors. The key is not intended not to raise a. You're looking for if the key I have a condition on it. Well, I press the bell, called the individual maid. I do not come, I called it. You were a loud voice about a little. Everyone, I'm supposed to do this. Ranko is distorted, a pale face. He had been on the other crying. Well, good Pearl River, sit to there. Onda as I reson a deviation to her buckwheat. Turn the hand to the shoulder. And impose a jerk. Ranko got Kuzu Ore on top of the kuna and cushion. Big eyes of Onda is the face of the girl who made a frowning face. While Miuri, not red, began to shine in suspicious phosphorescent. Mouth is wide open, like a dog of summer days. And ha ha ha, gasped in anguish up, then. Strangely long tongue with a thorn example from between the sharp teeth of pure white can wriggle. The was viewed as one animal of Bukimi creatures. Rango for the first time at that time. I realized that this guy is not an ordinary human being. Beast at beasts borrow the human form. Too much of the fear. But I felt as if exhausted, even another energy. However, is to become the prey of such a beast. Was unbearable humiliation, just thought. Even summon up the no force. Must escape this emergency. I do not go. I will return anyway. But for me it is not attributable. While ridiculing the words wild beasts of human beings. Still the Bukimi face has been close to the front of Ranko. I once implacable of it by. Once convinced. You may. Is around and run away. No matter how vigilant, am the unexpected place that not reach a purpose after all. Well thought out and see. You are whether life is not regrettable. Quote, saying, his hot touched cheeks to her cheek. 5 fingers, such as the spider, that crawling her back felt. And Zoe, downy body throughout the handstand. Blood flow was flowing back. Ranko was already feverishly. While it issued a true character of may unexpected yell something. Summon up the madness of power. Rush toward the rising Zama sliding doors. And the horrible sound and Marimari perforated the sliding doors. Ranko is passed under press there to forcibly. It began rolling in the hallway. Help me. And I heard a scream, a maid who has been put over. flower sales daughter disappear. After all, it attempts of the beast to Onda ended in failure. He's a thing called review girl. Was too underestimated. Diamond Ichigi as he had been misunderstood and that enough can buy her chastity. It is different in the draft. Is too vigorous momentum of Ranko. To the uproar that finally Kiaburu the sliding door. And tired also expected of Onda. Casually Toritsukuroi C2 was successfully sent home the Ranko. More turmoil is increased. Police will be even in crazy. Onda itself but no crisis. But the next day, Kamiya youth we hear the whole story from Ranko is could not help but inform told this to the police. Onda's because it was terrible murder culprit of the muscle of Ask stuff. Immediately, it is needless to say that the waiting of Hamacho was interrogation. However, the waiting area was found to be no involvement of what the Onda. Name of Onda also. I did not even know his address. Been about 5 days. Was gone without otherwise be. Onda Willer hiding lurking in his den. Not been known anywhere and also. Search that did their police hands in vain. Ranko of stout-hearted stood on the stage not even rest in the theater. It is concerned about the affairs of this popular actress. As escort a hefty man. Was supposed to be the drop-off and pick-up of attendance. Kamiya even if the company every day to leaving work. Frequenting the dressing room of Ranko. Did not fail to exercise due care. Even so, it would have been what that accursed around alignment. Kamiya and Onda's. He preference for the opposite sex. So match the Fusetsu. It was consistent with perfect. And not, to the previously Hiroko, now also Rango, as also in the conspiracy. Whether there will be that love at the same time. No, it may not be so. Onda the father and son are aimed at the Kamiya and bitter enemy is that there is no to be suspicious. Then, yelling in the case of Ranko of this time. Just not only a match of accidental preference. Robbing those that adoring of Kamiya. In some seinen. Showing off it to him. Given the anguish unlimited. Secretly joy do my there is a ulterior motive of defense. If Omo imegures. Meditate more. The tenacity. Not know the depths of the human beast. Kamiya did not stomach not feel the heart-chilling fear. At any moment, that guy must always attempt to another attempt. Do not release the eye from Ranko. Even over the life unexpected should observe a lover. Wishing unexpected that while he could not doubt the invasion of the enemy. Then, sure enough, the evening of the 6th day since there is a case of Hamacho. Human, Leopard, came out to the people of the surprise of all escort. By I think also over a period of unexpected means. Even in the attempted kidnapping of again Ranko Edogawa was, at that time, review theater of a scene of the Paris of the flower sales daughter is on the stage. To the flower garden blooming flower of oleander. And appeared one Cora flower sales daughter. Was one dance one sing. In a dozen of chorus girl. Dressed conspicuously Bibi Ishiku. One who voices face and gesture were also far the group. It is the hero of this scene. Ranko Edogawa was impersonating at the flower sales daughter. Sightseeing seats came in arrow also referred to earlier. The collection horde was past the packed face at the faces. As President Khan was exactly the same laughing face. From the bottom of the mask. Deep voice. High-pitched voice. A wide variety of encouragement. In the violence of the more clear the stage of the song. Just one person. Have focused on Ranko Edogawa. Ranko is a good scene. She the sweaty atmosphere. Away from the columns of the chorus girl. Susumied in the center of the stage. With gentle rocking a flower basket with a hand. Began to sing the flower-selling song of the daughter of attraction. It is a place that became her popular source. Sweet dish gloss real voices. To the crossing. Not far not stick with the accompaniment of Kangengaku. Or high, or low, when one is broken in dodo. Some whispers in Isa is the river when I was attracted thousands of spectators with all the strange of Kyokusetsu. Suddenly, quite suddenly to Paris of the flower sales daughter is. It had vanished from the stage. Ranpo Edogawa had lost sight like smoke. Sightseeing is too much of wonder. Had been quiet for a while. It was not possible to completely understand its meaning. If the familiar stage of Tenkatsu was not terribly strange, wasn't it? Because it may have been a large magic of disappear flower sales daughter. However, the review of the script, Singa Endless also Diva, was not supposed well of the scenario Nanti become invisible as drown. This is not a Tatakoto. To see the sights our head, it flashed a terrible premonition something. But then sightseeing us was struck in several layers. Multiple of surprise was Ranpo Edogawa of the person. When I was crazy to continue singing, suddenly, the floor you were standing felt the impact, such as you could disappear from the bottom of the foot. Remember the dizziness. She had fallen out in Yokozama, and suddenly notice, and from her around the stage also sightseeing seat also vanished. There was a place like the damp dark cellar. Oh, it was found. To weather the beat, fell a plate of protruding. It fell into the abyss. Here's what abyss beneath the stage. No, not the case. Crap pushed out of the leaf fall is not likely to occur. Reason is, I'm sure that someone was a prank. Keeping a crafted as pre-bulging of the platform is out. Waiting for her rides casually do it by turning the potter's wheel in reverse, so that down the elevator suddenly got off her body from the stage he was in. What was such a boring mischief, it would be who the hell. Ranpo has realized that Itosa, while collapsed on top of the square plate that has become suspended, and pop face up see through the inside of the abyss of dusk. Sure enough, there was 3 people of the human figure that wriggles in there. When the protruding of the plates had completely caged, one of them is like a ghost, has been close to her affairs. Oh, that guy. 2 of the phosphorescent glow in the darkness. Breathing, such as the beast Ironda. Human, as Leopard. He is due to the strict vigilance, because that there is no chance to approach the affairs of Ranpo. He came up with such a bizarre kidnapping means. Then, in the manner in which his white, such as rounded a handkerchief in his right hand has been held on, he was anesthetized. Ranpo. In Katsui her lost consciousness. There is no difference in going to escape this hell, since around the stage even had a box office does not need to review. In his time the abyss also did not see the shadow of the person in charge. Under the stage, such a tragedy is not known even to have been carried out. Sightseeing, had Oshidama not be motionless. This is the next. And what kind of horrible things happen? It had been silent. Hold the sweat in hand. Then, really, out of nowhere, it screams, such as rip silk, resounded full hall. The youngest went off like a thin thread. Ranpo, I have a horrible eye something. Sightseeing seats, upstairs also downstairs also became Sidachi. Buzz, such as foaming wave has occurred. But, it would have been a bizarre sight of what? This terrible moment. See the sights of thousands became Sidachi is. Instead of pulling their uneasiness, the facial expressions was said also aligned laughing face. It was a cheerful smile of celluloid. Review came in. Surface of not even laugh that number as long as the terrible fate of Ranpo Edogawa, so as not to unbearable in or else funny. Looked as if it wore okay align the voice. Dark theater. That night, the audience of the large city theaters, let alone in the past any large review of them in ecstasy. Colorful things, kuroishiku, vibrant, and unprecedented large play. Hold the sweat in hand. While excited about, was the sights with a storm, such as passion. The leading role of large play human Leopard and Ranpo Edogawa. Lover Kamiya youth of the supporting role is Ranpo. To the rest of the world chorus girl. Uniforms Ikameshi policeman us. Blood of the Grand Review. Overture. Ranpo Edogawa impersonated the flower sales daughter. To solo Nakaba. Table of bulging is lowered. That disappear from the stage and suddenly, was a strange scene. They heard from much of the underground. We heard a scream, such as chilling of Ranpo. Bloom was the stage surface of the oleander. As rotation of the projector has been stopped, had for a while, silent and quiet. Chorus girl of dozen are still made to tie in front of the background. It did not move like a doll. The orchestra was frown on the pitch. However, only a hole in the overhang and an open gaping in stage center looked noticeably horribly thing as the devil's mouth. Then, in between that and sightseeing seats and the stage has been closed to the strange silence. In the abyss of the stage under, suffer the beautiful actors that one animal of the wild beasts fainted to the anesthetic under his arm. The cellar, a world of darkness, was running as the gas difference. Although the abyss there was a doorway of a number. Onda the aim was a passage that is missing in the vacant lot behind the theater. He acquired Dogakata, had got the key to the bottom of the door. I should have waited a car of men in the dark outside. He has both feet of Ranpo, while dragging on the floor of the concrete. Reached the door and ran. Then, put a hand on the door. One, and I think was about to open's two sons. He had closed it also as a hash. Oh, bloody hell. What exactly happened? Always lonely outside of the door. Or not, in the crowd of Kuroyama. Uniforms of police officers was also mixed. When Onda opened the door to the details, there is a back of the uniforms and scaring immediately before. The police do not have even turned around to wonder the sound of the door. It was later found, but just at that time, on the outside of the door there is a quarrel of drunken. One of them was in the down was bleeding. Onda has also started running the way came the original. Then, when comes to the front of the electric room, under the bottom of the dim electric lamp, tool side of the man that he has acquired stood. What's happening? I'm where to go. The man, watching the frenzy of Onda, asks surprised. It's no good. Not come out from over there. Phantom gasped. Up. Should not. Listen you. I came to that footsteps. People. Not alone and two people. Is Naku. Ran away early. But I say if Nigerta. Where? This is no good. Escape route not if something. In addition to that back door is. But people of the mountain tap go which way? Well, you ask. Went to the switchboard room of the above. The Pearl River me to turn off the electric lamp. Pearl River me to this building in the dark. In the meantime, I'm from slip into to see the side seat. Thanks 3 times of promises. It was the last means. Well, was underwriting. Flee you're early to hear. It shortcut to behind the scenes. Man as eyes you'd go out over a period of standing ahead. Onda was pursued then while holding a Shunan Bukaku lover. On stage flower sales daughters of the chorus girl. And clustered in one place. It had been trembling in fear. Sightseeing seat remains became Sidachi. Was astir with anxiety. Curtain it's curtain. Voice crying in somewhere. I heard faintly. But, drop curtain whether the thing is he does not come cage easily. Then, suddenly the stage was in darkness. Oh, do I turned off the lighting in place of the curtain, not a rasa even while I think. Became bright and package again. And, in turn, lamp power that the audience of the electric lamp has disappeared at a time. From behind the scenes roar of a few people, not sure of the meaning, has been sounded by mingling. Quickly the audience has become bright as noon. Until the electric lamp that had been put out for stage effect. It has been entirely ignition. Then, in the next moment, electric lights of the whole building, like lightning, began a bukimi blinking, and the beating of sightseeing our anxiety heart, in accordance with the tone. Dizzying transformation of light and darkness began. To sightseeing seat that has been silent. Terrible riot happened. Roar cursing the theater parties. It stood springing up like a chorus. Ran of men, women screaming, children's screams. When the electric lamp is attached to the packages, human beings thousands of, was laughing in exactly the same smiling face. From the bottom of the smile, anger, swearing, crying, shouting, but the outpouring of passion of infinite variety. Before long, flickering of light, such as Mononoke is, and I think was stopped Batari. It has come a long darkness. The entire huge theater, the stage also, the audience also, corridors, had been wrapped in the darkness of death. The roar of sightseeing seat has become one so vigorously. People weak of mind that is no longer endure the anxiety, etc. Women customers, in the darkness, rushed toward the Kadoguchi as tsunami, trampled as to stuff scream, pushed down or crying things, sounding fall of the chair, the sound of tearing the thing. But, after a while, in the midst of the riot, it was again all as bright as noon, and the other meaningless blinking was not repeated, looking suddenly to have been illuminated and dazzling lightning stage, has confronted a strange person, disheveled hair, dose black face and unusually shining binocular, waiting red of Shirahas such as fang look peek from between the lips. The black suit clothes became wrinkled. He was the culprit, the guy who was Kadawakashi the Ranko, was that man. Suddenly, in a sightseeing seat, it occurred cry-piercing, one of the young man, and aiming at the stage the audience of passage while wearing a mask of example, was running like the wind, ran while, continued to cry still. Gentlemen, this guy is the famous man, was a leopard, was a big devil of killing Jokyu. It is mixed in between the sightseeing. Was Kami a young man who had watched a mistress Ranko Edogawa, the as a Heteroko, now also the new mistress, as will be deprived for the beast. Was Yoshio Kamiya became frantic. Hana snowstorm, Onba in order that had been slow to do everything, and from the stage in between the darkness to the audience, fails to slip into plan. In a surprisingly early tense was lighting, that I had stuck with a start. He is the figure of the ugly beast. Haragami Shiku also. He had to be exposed to in presence of the whole company. In addition to the front of the eye, he pointed, vertical uncover his identity, while scattered his Kyoku throat well. There is a person of the mask to come by chipping. Human, leopard while also dismay miserable. Like a beast that took the trap. Was running around to the left on the stage to the right. Not can also turn back. Not be able to proceed. The behind-the-scenes person young relates is hard to the stand in the way. It mountain haunts of the people in front. If camera not escape to the side. Not in addition to escape to the vertical. He finally was Genwa the nature of the leopard. The sum of the back of the stage of the picture frame of the pillars. With a vengeance. Began to climb scraping. Not a work, humans. It's cylindrical separately from scaffolding so no plaster physician. Is it him in the quickness of one animal of the cat? Had disappeared into an instant ceiling. Stage of the upper. In the shadow of the character curtain. Become Kumode. Every trick tackle or meditating tension. Pale curtain of thick bamboo pole. Shelf fitted with a lighting of the light bulb. Water pipe of this rain. Basket that send down the snow of paper. Human leopard is transmitted their shelves and bamboo pole. Was able to Oseiru fled to the ceiling of the center stage. He encroaching in the lighting shelves there. In Bakaneko look alike of the forms of the old play. Sharpening the nails. Peeled fang. Both eyes burning phosphorescent shining and lang lang. The spirit of people who flocked afar under eyes it was to hear. Someone, please catch the guy. He is surely the had killed the other Ranko. Is a killer. Kamiya is up jumps to the stage, shouting in a heartbreaking voice. Although two of the police officers who happened to halt has been put over. And a policeman, climbing trees is uncertain. Hey, someone or not those who climbed over there. From the toolside brother physicians, strength likely of the carpus agile young man has jumped. Crushed to death, let's go. So if climb from the other side of the ladder is not I. Went to let Chamai down drag the guy. He wade through people. It flew to the place of the ladder. Were those familiar indeed? He is a quickness which is not as good as the human leopard. And climb over the vertical of the ladder. while run down the ceiling of the narrow shelf in Hioi was approached a moment only towards from the audience, the character curtain in the way, but was not able to see this great fighting scene, and see the curtain that flutters shaking horrendously as storm is Hageshi of the struggle that is going on there. It was conceived vividly, each time shaking the basket of snow paper at the ceiling. Snow of 5 colors that untimely to the stage was Furoshiki, as fun pun. On top of lined oleander artificial flowers. On top of the fleeing flower sales daughters. On top of the mask hunts when a push on the stage. On top of the police officers of the hat and epaulets. Beautiful 5 colors of snow Furoshiki. Not snow only. While reviews a wide range of tape of gold and silver that had been prepared for the final scene of shine and glitter. While the C1, 2, 3, and either come hanging from the ceiling unwound. Suddenly, the Ranpo no in Hageshi, number 10, band of hundreds of gold and silver, was rather pretend on him stage's henpon. Background also. People who you saw on the stage also covers make everyone in seams of gold and silver rain. Snow of 5 colors. The ceiling of his eyes glittering in Aya stage. Showering flowers large fighting is. Accompaniment on the beast of the Rorda was continued without the time pass away. The stage, pouring snow paper, had someday Eddie high piled. And suddenly notice, on top of the snow, and Potori as raindrops, there is one that is dripping. It was awaiting red rain. Each time the dripping, Yukishiko blurred in a moment of blood color. Up but Sue, blood was done, but blood. People began to cry as appalled. In the ceiling, the claw of the leopard had hurt the young people of the brave tool side. Blood blown out from the wound becomes a red rain. It died Yukishi. Young man was already desperate. When I sit still in this state, it just is strangled. If anyway die life, the companion to this monster. Stakes. I decided to try to do the adventure of the desperate. He is, while being tightened even take a throat breath, along with cling to the opponent's body to feverishly. Both feet, which had been subjected to a shelf until now, was floated on the package in the air. Indeed of monsters. There was no force against the surprise of the desperate. If I think anything that cannot epithet heartbreaking roar echoed in the ceiling. 2 people of the body that Kumiya, through the pouring Yukiishi, while rotating in the Tomo, crashed on top of the stage. But, the beast is a native nimble. When I think crash make a vigorous sounds. In front of the people surprised and up. He had quickly stood up. If you look, whether wearing unnoticed, his ugly face has been covered with masks of examples of laughter. On the other hand, distinguished service of young people. Unfortunately, Itaku the enemy to lightness of the beast, become the underlying of the opponent, while lying down and tired, did not even stuck, the body, such as the corpse, the purchase-stained Okadoku Shiku blood, go a moment-filled snow paper. Itsu, na escape. Stage of the people, by aiming at the onda that stood up raced become one in the mass. Nameless and Gataki confusion, on top of the one who fell. People of the mountain, which was folded to 10-fold the stand. The majority of it remains with the celluloid surface of the example. It football game of the surface of laughter. Come on, gonna suppressed, as this guy. Policeman, please tied the guy. To cry, it collapsed the people of the mountain. Looking, there, covered in snow paper of 5 colors. A man of the mask is. Had Kumishi a man of another one of the mask. S. Yoshio Kamiya was Kumishi. Kumishika been inner human, must be a leopard. But, it is in the human leopard would be feeble appearance what? Also expected of him, exhausted fighting from the best. Or was probably Titan made a name Kamiya youth of the powerless. Please take the masks. Early came in. Kamiya was occupied with both hands calling on the people beside. Well, I'll take. One of the young people, jumping on the face of a man struggling to become the underlying, was stripped of the mask of laughter. up, cry of astonishment that quickly occur. It's people the difference. This is Nanda. Kami the young man, jumped up and looked around the neighborhood and look around. With the exception of the tool side and chorus girl, none of this is also. It is the people of the mask. Those masks is contrary to the will of the people themselves. As if Karu or else Sasaki the failure of Kamiya. Laughing and grinning. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a mask. Offender or suing you. Early, please take the mask. Kamiya screams. People did a hand to the face in a hurry. Once you even removed Cayman. Something that was already tightening. Human leopard. Because of such that there is no doubt that Sue in this stage of the crowd. But, oh, at that time, I discovered the phantom in an instant now that when he became only the arrest. And too quickly. Venue has yet again ended up with awaiting darkness. Ally of Onda who was lurking in the power distribution room. The close call of the Seto Sai. It had saved him. Behind the scenes of strangeness. Everyone, please take a mask. Songs might he slipped into the haunt seat. Theater of dependency members. Yelled loudly. Uniform laughing face. Such as fitted to the type of sightseeing are thousands of. Disappeared quickly. And, from the bottom of your face that has been removed. Royo men and women. Beauty and ugliness the face of a variety of fabrics. Was Sarakidasa. People are a person of the next seat to each other and each other looked suspiciously. Do my man that is that prim and proper faces. Albeit by chance the human leopard. Somehow suspicious even guy is laughing grinning here. Nobody also felt like their own immediately close to the horrible murder demon is lurking. The entire theater. Silence of death has been occupied. People, at any moment shouting wah, while becoming full of feeling you want to run away. But escape energy even without any. Had not even stuck still remained standing upright. Then, the eye of several thousand is. Only the eye, while frightened to extreme fear, had been dodged seen as staring. But, even the audience, even stage, even behind the scenes, the face of the Onda with that feature, could not be found at all. A dozen of police officers wearing over from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department near the Soon. Will. With the cooperation of the theater relates members. Behind the scenes from the dressing room. But was searched from the ceiling to every corner of the abyss. That finally discover the appearance of the beast people could not. Do not all. Also Ranpo Edogawa of the victims. What had been carried out of anywhere unnoticed. Shadow even could not see. Review was not well to stop in the raising of the curtain Nakaba. Packed Hanses. The police that lined the Kido left back when Terra complaint is unpleasant Kobijikan. When the spectators also will be no one person. But was repeated again careful search. There was no place to get after all flame. Registration that fled from any doorway even. Did not stick at all. After a wasted effort of more than an hour. Police officers went first. Pulling up as one. Reviews girl in theater relates members who also came home allowed in. A Toniwa, in the building that became lonely as grave, had just Havanogo only 7 of night duty members Koko Robosoku. Because after that was of such things. I like Tobano Mono and Power boast of tools how. Who the 7 people who judiciously has Osatsuka, the vigil. They are close to the stage door. Become one in the lump into Tommy mat room. While tilting the flip of cold sake from the sake bottle. It had hit the twaddle. Oira, very much. It is still somewhere in a corner in this hut. Is Shoga not to do it but I have to feel like hiding. Yosei, Odakashi Kozi's no. Things I was not looking so much am not supposed to have hidden up by now. Hey mister. Then, while the third man is puzzled. Yeah, but, I do not say even if the, after all, is come to the play of the behind the scenes and hell. I because mon such want reservoir garbage. One man if you will to hide. I because is hidden data anywhere. Another one person, if the hidden if. Z's abyss. You know, when everyone was thought to have held down the Gaias. I was no longer here anymore to somewhere. Strange I'm not either. How much tap went quick. Not Nigadazaru and Nani early gain. Guy. At the time of being jam. Z must have jumped into the hole of the protruding yacht Susan. By now, I think we are mozo per under this echna. While the discussion did not run out easily, as speak to talk, 70 of those who gradually man on the idea that the Leopard is still lurking in the theater were being dominated than anything else in all buildings. As theater became empty, not strangely Monosabashi thing, in a chair thousands of spectators seat. Even just considering the plight that is not even just one person man sat, was felt to be something creeps. Let alone late at night, after what happened with Anna bizarre events in large buildings, such as died out, is to say that what is alive. And I think that only 7. Truly a force of pride. Brother Weasel also. Never a good feeling it did not. Anyway, you, and he is still with being in a hut. Ranpo, what happened, huh? Of course do not, we will have together. Alive to buy? Everyone, there was no one to answer. People crowded reservoir as was scaring. Had just dodged look at the uneasy eye. Yes, the beast is. It does not say that did not kill that beautiful actress. Somewhere in the darkness of the side. But not necessarily not lying is dead. Ranpo became bloody. Ah, nose diamond. Hey, guys, do not you try to shut us such a story. Someone awfully at a loud voice. Sit, a little silent. Then the one who was in a corner is. And keep an eye that was scared to fear a sudden. One the everyone. Paddle, that voice not hear you guys. Hey, would be what is there. The ears of everyone to dispense involuntarily. Somewhere from the direction of the distant. Faint. I heard what seems a woman screams. Hey, that voice do not you Ranpo. Yeah, guess so. Where would you? Kabaya and young people had already risen. It's like hell. No, it might be behind the scenes. Hey, guys, let's go. People are out to Doka and the corridor. The Kakeru hung the sandals also frustrating. Began running to contest ahead. The majority went down to the abyss. There is a person who is traveling around to the behind the scenes, only 2 people. Young Tool Howitz Tobano Mono of their friends. They were not in any way was afraid of the abyss of darkness. I believe that those who came from behind the scenes the scream of the best. To be continued. Thank you for your viewing. If you like, please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.